introduction about the fellowship. First of all, I would like to congratulate everyone who managed to be on our top 15 finalists and have managed to join this fellowship. Hopefully it will be a great experience for you. So this fellowship intends to contribute for the information accuracy within the media landscape in Ethiopia. This first cohort is prepared for Oromia region. We'll be having 3 cohorts that will last for 3 months each. During this period, fellows will be engaged in real-life experience. They will be engaged with different experts. We will have different assignments as well as exposures so that they can contribute to their communities. So initially, we plan to launch the fellowship in person. However, due to some admin issues, we decided to have this official launch virtually, which we're doing right now. So the idea behind this fellowship is to give journalists, media enthusiasts, as well as content creators who have the ambition as well as the passion to contribute for peace building in Ethiopia. During this fellowship, they will be given the necessary skill tools that can help them to advance on their media literacy skills as well as their journalism skills. Hopefully at the end of this fellowship, you will be the ambassadors for peace within your local community. Our ultimate goal is to give you the necessary tools to enable you contribute for your own community, also for your own cause. So that is the introduction for the fellowship. Also, to give you a brief background about the AFF-ETH Now initiative, which is funding this fellowship. It is a 2-year European Union funded project titled under the name of Mobilizing Civic and Digital Action to Combat Online Hate Speech and Online Incitement to Violence in Ethiopia. So this initiative is dedicated to promoting peace building and resilience against online hate speech and information disorder in Ethiopia. So in doing so, we are determined to empower young fellow Ethiopians like you by giving the necessary knowledge as well as skill sets to help you navigate the digital landscape, as well as to help you kind of bridge the knowledge gap between the tech-savvy and non-tech-savvy citizens in Ethiopia. I believe this fellowship will provide us with the opportunity to create a dedicated group of champions that can contribute to their communities. So our role here as Rogue and AFF-ETH Now is just providing the opportunity and the necessary resources to guide you to ultimate goal, which is providing accurate information for your communities. This being said, maybe I'll move to the next agenda, unless anyone have a question. Our next agenda is the general insight about the disinformation and the role of fact-checking in Ethiopia. I'll give it to Ato Tesfaye, a journalist and a consultant. He'll give us a brief insight in regards to this topic. The floor is yours, Tesfaye.
I think you can share us the presentation.
1 second.
Please. Okay.
Maybe
see the
Dan, can you
presentation?
share it? Yeah, you the host.
Thank you so much. Thank you for AFF-ETH inviting me to having some minutes with my experience for this young fellow. My name is Tasfaye Azbrook, insider that. I'm a journalist by profession. Currently, I'm working for BBC as Ethiopian journalist mentor. I'm very happy to meet you. I think you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you. That's fine.
Okay. I'm very happy to be with you, and I would like to say congratulations for selecting for this fellowship program. I invite you just a picture. Next slide. A picture. Do you remember this picture? And what do you think about this one? Is that this one is a true picture? It's disseminated through the Ethiopian social media network before 3-4 months ago. Did you remember this one? And what's your reflection? Just hands up when you are saying that this one is false. This a post that's generated by a Syrian child sleep between grave of his parents, and it was very famous in this country. Do you remember this one? Anyone? Do you think this one is right? If you said wrong, let me see your hands. On the reaction button. ይሄንን ፒክቸር ከአሁን በፊት አይታችሁ ታውቃላችሁ ብዬ ተስፋ አደርጋለሁ። ይሄ ፒክቸር ሴሪያ ላይ የተነሳ ነው። ሁለት ወላጆቹን ያጣ ህፃን ነው ይሄንን ፎቶ ተነስቶ የተለጠፈው እና ትዝ ይላችኋል ብዬ አስባለሁኝ። ከ3-4 ወር በፊት ኢትዮጵያ ሚዲያ ውስጥ በጣም ይታይ የነበረ ነው። ይሄ ፒክቸር ሐሰት ነው የምትሉ ሰዎች እስኪ እጃችሁን በማውጣት ላያችሁ። ሪያክሽን በተን ላይ ሄዳችሁ ሪያክት ማድረግ ነው። ኦኬ ኔክስት ስላይድ። ሌላ ፊልም ልጋብዛችሁ ነው። እስኪ ይሄንን ፊልም አብረን እያየን ይሄን ፊልም ይዩት እና የሚሰማችሁን ንገሩኝ እስኪ። እውነት ይመስላችኋል ወይስ ሐሰት ይመስላችኋል ይሄ ፊልም? Okay, thank you so much. Let me see your reaction. Is that this one is true or false? If you say true, let's see your reaction. If you say yes, this one is true. True or false video that you saw before. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. You know, both of the picture in the movie with fake. This picture was taken by an artist from Saudi photographer, but it's not taken place in Syria. And it was highly circulated throughout the world because, you know, his show us like he's lost his parents because of the Syria conflict, but the photographer taking his picture in some area in Saudi Arabia, he's the photographer with one of the best shoots that he designed for this specific story. And the next slide, also the movie was designed. The next slide. Yeah, this story was posted on New York Post. Superboy kids dogging sniper bulleting and play dare to save the girl, but this one is a fake again. Next slide. This filmed by Malta, and the story was designed for YouTube, and this intentionally published without noticing anything on YouTube. Then over 5 million viewers and thousands of comments was received because of this movie, just a 1 minute movie. Then it's now used by many to shed doubts on any video showing victim war in Syria. Next slide. And disinformation, malinformation, and misinformation in Ethiopia, it's become one of a challenge. You know, disinformation is not a new phenomenon in the global, according to certain historians. Starting from 18th century, false information highly disseminated. For example, the French monarchy is an end because of the misinformation that's disseminated through newspaper. Because of digitalization, misinformation has become major concern for Ethiopia digital landscape. Conflicts, instability, internal displacement, all of which costs life and violence, human rights, has gone common as a result of disinformation, misinformation, and malinformation. There are three categories of these items. Disinformation, deliberately we're promoting or designing some misinformation to the public or information to the public. Misinformation is a journalistical error that's made unintentionally, and malinformation is the process of hiding or adding something, additional things on that, using the real information to the public. Then DML is digital media literacy knowledge is one of the other contributor to spread the issue across the country, because we don't have that much we don't have that much knowledge on digital media. The literacy is very important because we don't have anything how we react on digital media, including Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, or other digital media outlets. Then welcome to a soldier fighting to misinformation in this country, because you are the one who is working locally to combat this disinformation battle in this country. Then I have been working for the last 15 years as a journalist. Next slide. I have been working for the last 15 years as a journalist in different media platform, including state-owned medias, and currently I'm working for BBC. For the last 4 years, I have been working as a fact-checking activity. Then what I have learned is that fact-checking is one of the technique for combating disinformation, but critical thinking is more than just a tool, because most of the tools designed for Europe and America, then sometimes we'll get some difficulties when we are using some tools. Therefore, critical thinking is very important in our context. As a fellow, I invite you to be technically fit, technologically well updated and psychologically ready to dynamic exposure, and always attempt to call there is no magic bullet tool for fact checking. When we are saying that fact checking, we use several tools to make it the thing is right or wrong. Then don't expect that a one tool, a one magic bullet tool, or a one button that's assure whether the news, the post, or the video is right or wrong, fake or not. Then Ethiopia is a vast country with a population of 100 million people, but I encourage you to working and influence locally first before contributing broadly to fight against misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. Then during your fellowship, please concrete on improving your knowledge about the disinformation, skills on the technical expertise, and also working with attitude, because we have a diversified culture, a diversified way of thinking, and currently also we're living with a diversified political aspiration. Then congratulations again, and I hope we can meet you soon again. I wish all the best on your stay at AFF-ETH with this fellowship program. Thank you, Brooke, and the team again for inviting me to share my experience and to say something about disinformation in Ethiopia. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Tasfai, for accepting this invitation with short notice, also for giving us this brief insight from your experience. If fellows, if you have any question to Tasfai, the floor is yours. If not, we can move to the next agenda. Our next speaker will be Sihon. Sihon, I'll give you the floor.
Thank you very much, Brooke. I have two disclaimers. One is I'm having a bit of tonsil plus gunfan, so I can't speak as much as I want. And also the second disclaimer is I'm using my phone, so I can't turn on my camera. Now,
that's all right. You can go ahead.
Yeah. So again, you have introduced me earlier, but just to say something about myself, my name is Yoning Gray. I am a gender and human rights expert. I'm currently working as a consultant for several civil society organizations, as a project manager, as a researcher, and also as a trainer on those topics. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on a topic that is very critically important in our digital age. In our interconnected world, the internet has become a very powerful tool for communication and information dissemination. However, it also presents very significant challenges, particularly the spread of misinformation and harmful rhetoric, which, disinformation affects everyone, like men and women, but it disproportionately affects women and marginalized communities. That's for a fact which everyone knows. So now, considering the situation in our country, first of all, our social media is a reflection of our day-to-day life. The gender stereotypes, societal roles, and the place that we have for women in our offline life are also reflected in our digital or online interactions. So women here, by the way, this happens everywhere in the world. Women disproportionately are being affected by this disinformation than women in every country you go. You can check any facts anywhere, and that's something I can say is very universal. Women are often targets of gender disinformation and hate speech. False narratives about women in leadership roles, harmful stereotypes about women's capabilities, and targeted online attacks are designed to undermine women's credibility, and it is very common. So these challenges are not only distorted public discourses, but also they discourage women from participating fully in public life, which at the end of the day contributes to gender inequality. As fact checkers, so this is for you, dear fellows, Your role is very important in addressing these issues. Your work is not merely about verifying facts, it's about ensuring that the digital world remains a space where truth prevails and everyone can participate equally, whether it's a man, it's a woman, be it a person with disability or a person from marginalized communities ማለት ነው። So I want us to focus on 3 key ways to make a significant impact regarding gendered misinformation, regarding prevention of gendered misinformation. So the first one is exposing gender disinformation itself. So disinformation that targets women often reinforces harmful stereotypes and it perpetuates gender inequality. So in Ethiopia, we see this in the false way claims about women's abilities, their roles are being spread, and it undermines their achievements and their leadership capacities. So by diligently fact-checking and debunking these false narratives, you have to help to challenge and dismantle these stereotypes. Your work ensures that accurate portrayals of women and their contributions are highlighted by promoting a more balanced and fair representation in the public discourse. The second way is countering hate speech. So online hate speech can silence voices and create a hostile environment, particularly for women. Like women being silenced, like women that are very vocal on social media because of the attacks that they receive from random people on social media, tend to silence themselves and keep quiet, disappear from that space. Sorry, እንግዲህ መጀመሪያ ተናግሬያለሁ, bear with me ብዬ
Oh, this is doing good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So these platforms, these online platforms are frequently used to spread different voices against women, particularly those who dare to speak out or assume public roles. Our women leaders in governmental positions, በጣም በብዛት ሲሰደቡ እናያለን than our main leaders. So by identifying and addressing hate speech quickly and effectively, you help to protect individuals from harm and foster more respectful and inclusive online environment and also community. The third key important factor that you can impact for prevention of online gender disinformation is promoting inclusive narratives. So as fact checkers have the unique ability to amplify, because that's what you're going to learn, how to be better fact checkers, how to tackle these disinformations. So based on that, you will have the unique ability to amplify diverse voices and perspectives by highlighting accurate information about the experiences and success of women and also marginalized group. So there are different types of women, intersectionality comes in this manner. For example, persons with disabilities, women from different rural areas, and it can be even urban areas. So considering that intersectionality of women, you can contribute to a richer and more inclusive understanding of societal issues. This not only counters misinformation, but also helps to build a narrative that reflects the true diversity and potential on the Ethiopian society, especially for our interaction on the digital space. So, but this task is not as easy as we think. It's very challenging. The rapid spread of misinformation requires constant vigilance and innovation in fact-checking practices. So we have to be really creative because it necessitates collaboration across sectors, media organizations, tech platforms, civil societies, and policymakers to effectively combat these challenges and promote digital literacy. So we have to be able to also collaborate with different stakeholders to prevent this challenge. Finally, we have to affirm our commitment to empower truth and silencing bias. As fellows, your dedication to accurately And to create inclusive fact-checking is not just a service to truth, but also foundational element for a just and equitable society. Thank you very much. Congratulations once again, fellows. And if you have any questions, you're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Sihon. You've given us a very comprehensive and very factual insight. I appreciate for making the time, even though you are sick. I appreciate that for joining us. Maybe the fellows, if you have any question, you can raise them at the end of our agenda. We have allotted time for open discussion. Maybe you can raise your questions by them. Okay. Now we can move to the next agenda. Our guest speaker will be Bida from South Sudan DeFi-ETH Now team. I'll give the floor to Bida.
I need to speak. Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. First of all, I would like to congratulate all our fellows for joining us in this first cohort. It was a competitive process. I believe that they would make very good use of this opportunity to be able to make impact, both in their personal and professional lives, as well as in the communities that they work with. So my name is Emmanuel Bida Thomas. I work for DeFi-ETH Now, and presently I support the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship, as well as the multi-fact-check platform that is also supported by the DeFi-ETH Now Ethiopia project. So regards to our Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship South Sudan, we have run several cohorts, both in person, online, as well as hybrid model that mixes two, both online and in person. And experience over the last 3 years has been very heartwarming because we have seen a lot of changes, and because of the fellows that we've worked with, sort of they have become multipliers of the information that they get through the fellowship, and then they go share with their different networks. And as a result of this, there has been an improvement in information circulation, especially online. And also we've seen a shift in the way alternative media, because we were also able to incorporate fellows from people who run alternative media platforms, who often, because they are unregulated, easily share false content because they believe they cannot be trusted. But because of the fellowship and having realized the importance of having to share information responsibly, it has helped them also move towards responsible journalism. And we have seen a couple of them now sharing accurate and verified information. And as a result of that, we have seen also reduced implications that are caused by this misinformation, as well as hate speech. The fellowship has also, the way we run it, has also helped us build a community of alumni that we now call the 201 Check community, that has continued to help us, especially in our media monitoring efforts. And they have also helped us to become trainers. So now, like in cases where we have too much work to do, and we have been requested probably to do a training to a community on fact-checking, misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech, then we will just reach out to them because they're already part of our community and they believe they also own the project. And also I talked about the media monitoring efforts where they are able to flag off hate speech content, and as well as mis and disinformation, and share it in the community platform. And then we usually discuss the way forward. We offer alternative information that is there to counter it. and also we give strategies that they can use to effectively communicate with people that share this content. We have also seen that previously the field of fact checking still continues to be new. It's a subfield of journalism, but many people seem to be disinterested and things of that sort. But because of the experience that they gotten through the fellowship and also being in the community for long-term engagement, most of them have over time developed interest in fact checking, and they are now actively involved in fact checking in their newsrooms. They're encouraging the sharing of verified information in their newsroom as well as in their different workplaces. And when we look back and then we see the results that have come as a result of the fellowship that we have run over the last couple of years since the organization was formed, we feel really excited, and also we feel that at least our work is paying off because we are seeing something happening as a result of what we have done. So, and what is very important, especially from participants and fellows like you, is you need to make sure that you organize your schedules very properly. Schedules can be very, very confusing. So what you should do is ensure that you have a real well laid out schedule with the help of your calendar. Make sure you have a calendar on your phone and use that calendar to be able to add all your events. If you have different activities in a day or in a week or in a month, ensure that every of that activity is reflected in your calendar so that you are able to balance your time. Because one of the many challenges that our participants face is the issue of conflicts in their schedules. So they because of poor planning, so they will realize already there's a clash. Probably they have another appointment and they have um, an engagement with the fellowship, and then as a result of that, they would not commit fully. We have seen cases where some of the fellows drop off before time and things of that sort. So I would advise that your schedule is clearly laid out so that you don't miss any of the sessions or mentorship that you will receive during this fellowship, because every information that you will get right from here until the end of the fellowship is very, very important. If you miss any point, then that means you wouldn't have adequate knowledge gains by the time you graduate from the fellowship. Another thing is also you should be able to make real investment, both in terms of time as well as in terms of resources. Because earlier on, the first presenter talked about tools. In a particular training session, the trainer will introduce you to a couple of tools. And in most of the cases, the trainer will not really give you in-depth details or in-depth guidelines on how to use the tool. So that means that after the session, you have to put considerable investment in terms of time and also in terms of finance. So finance comes here in that you may need to buy a good data bundle that will help you practice all these aspects, including the tools, on how to use the tools. You could watch YouTube videos on how to use this tool, or you can use that time to still reach back to the trainer via email or via WhatsApp group or Telegram group or whichever community that you are in, and that will help you a lot in seeing that you know how to use some of those tools and so forth, and so on. And the last thing is also you need to be multipliers of the information that you get from the fellowship. So once you have very useful information that you know will benefit the community that you work with, and so that you are able to share this information further, tell them the importance of this information, especially if you learn hate speech mitigation strategies, or you learn the importance of fact checking, and you have seen a colleague of yours either at work or at school or whichever community that you're involved with at that particular time. You could speak with them on that. And then as part of this fellowship, you will be required to do sort of meetups where you do now a formal gathering to share the information that you have gained throughout the fellowship. And that helps us to see whether you are learning or you might need more help. And the other thing is you will also be very active members and contributors of the multi-fact check platform. So once you gain all these skills and knowledge, especially on fact checking tools, checks, and so on and so forth, you will then be able to contribute to the platform. And that may become a source of that may become a source, like an additional source of your income stream, because once you contribute to the platform and you get your work published over time, probably you may have to do some work as part of your assignments for the fellowship. But then after the fellowship, when you contribute to the platform, then you will not contribute for free. You will get some payment, which means you already have an additional income stream. So it's sort of very good opportunity, I must say, and I invite you to make very good use of it. I wish you every success as you embark on this very important journey, and of course, go for it hard. Seek consultations. If you have any difficulties at any time, you can reach us to the team. The team is watching out for any feedback that comes at any time, and they'll be able to guide you accordingly, so that all of us are on the same track and all of us achieve their desired goals. I wish each and every one of you the very best of this learning experience. And if you have any questions later on, I would be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you, Vida. Thank you for your insight and mentorship. I'm sure the fellows have found it very insightful and helpful to tune themselves ahead of their training. Thank you again. Vida was here to assist us in designing as well as planning this fellowship. Hopefully you will get the chance to meet him in person in this fellowship. Thank you, Vida, once again. I will invite our next speaker. Hopefully he's in a good place to speak. I would invite Steve to give us a brief introduction about himself, about his organization and this initiative. I'll give the floor to Mr. Stephen Cohort. Steve, you can proceed.
Okay, thank you very much, Brooke, and hello to everybody. Very nice hearing the few. I joined a few minutes of Bida, so hello, Bida. Great to see you and to hear you in here as one of the people who's been working on setting this up as well. Yeah, so I'm Stephen Kovacs. I'm here in Berlin, Germany. I'm the Bida's got his hand up. Bida, I'm the co-founder of the Rogue Agency for Open Culture and Critical Transformation. We started the Defy Hate Now initiative 10 years ago. Unfortunately, because of the outbreak of the war in South Sudan, where we saw how social media users were using social media to push a conflict that still wasn't clear what kind of a war or conflict it was going to be. But we saw a huge danger in that when we're thinking about how radio was used in Rwanda 20 years earlier in order to create a genocide. We thought, oh no, like, how would it be when social media becomes that medium? Does that mean that genocide can occur maybe within minutes or days rather than weeks and months? So we immediately went online, and that's why the initiative is called Defy Hate Now, because we had to act immediately. And I'm a Canadian. I live here in Germany. And even in that conflict in South Sudan, I saw many, or not many, but some Canadians involved, Canadian South Sudanese. So these issues of online conflict and things, they're not stuck within national borders, of course. They move around the planet within the realm of social media. And that's exactly where this fellowship comes in. This was started, I guess, already had its roots in South Sudan. It was worked out into a full program in Cameroon, where we have a big initiative happening right now as the AFF-C, so the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship Cameroon. And this group here today, you guys all are part of the first group, the first cohort for the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship Ethiopia. This is an extremely important backbone of journalism, but also of just everybody in society understanding how important verification and fact-checking is, even in your everyday lives. And there just isn't enough real knowledge, real work happening in that field, even here in Germany. Verification and fact-checking is still a bit of a side issue, and there needs to be much more work done on it. So I'm very, very happy that we can finally start with this group. I'm really sorry that we've been delayed. Unfortunately, we had some administrative issues, but seems we're over that right now. And I wanted to take the opportunity to welcome, just for a few minutes, a very, very special guest who I have sitting beside me here. This is, I think, a bit of a surprise, perhaps, to Brooke and the team. It's one of our colleagues from the Cameroon program, from Defy Hate Now Cameroon, who was in the second cohort of the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship Cameroon. So it's my pleasure to introduce Mbu Stella from Bamenda in Cameroon, who's visiting Berlin. So Mbu, I would like you to say a few words to this fresh new cohort starting the program in Ethiopia. And it's great having you here in Berlin.
Thank you very much, Steve. Hello, Brooke. Hello, Bida. I came in at the later part of your intervention. As you've all heard from Steve, my name is Mbu Stella. I am, first of all, a communication and development studies student of the University of Bamenda in Cameroon. I do journalism for a couple of media organs based in Cameroon, and sometimes for some based in Germany. I am, very importantly, a Cohort 2 fellow of the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship of Cameroon, a fellowship which I'm very proud of, and that's why you see me with this branded T-shirt of the fellowship that took place in Cameroon. Well, as a former fellow, I am first of all here to encourage you to take serious the fellowship you're about to start. I will give you my experience as a trainee in the fellowship. I looked at the fellowship as one of those workshops that come up and people are called upon to come and sit and attend, and then at the end of the day, they all go home. But no, after the first month of the fellowship, I realized that I was soaking myself into something that is very important and that can inspire a lot of change. Now, as a fact-checking is not just about verifying, debunking, but it's also going to teach you how to manage information as young people in your profession. And also, it is a career that you can also uphold. So I'm here to encourage you that the journey through this fellowship is not an easy one. It is very difficult. There are times that you see it and then you are verifying something that you don't even know where it's leading you to. And the watchword is that you have to persevere and take serious the lessons that the experts that have been put at your disposal are going to be giving you. I came in when Bida was saying that you have to do a lot of personal work. Yes, you have to invest in the basics that you've been given and make a mountain out of that pinch that is being given to you. Before I went into the fellowship, I didn't know about misinformation. I didn't know about disinformation. But when I got into the fellowship, I first grasped these terms, and then I took the knowledge that the experts were giving us and put all of that together and improved upon myself. I want to also encourage you to know that the experts that will be training you, you should bother them. If anyone says, don't bother me, bother them. Bother them with questions, bother them with things you want to understand, because this is their start and it might be your last chance of maybe having them around. So you have to maximize the use of those who are put at your disposal. During my own time as a fellow, we had the best experts. And I know that Rogue Agency, through its DeFi It Now initiative, has put at your disposal the best people who will give you this training. So don't take it for granted. I want to also, first of all, applaud you for being selected. It's not always an easy selection process because many people do come in. So for you to have gone through the selection process, it's because DeFi It Now finds in you someone who can deliver. So please, please, please do not disappoint. Thank you very much.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Stella. And yeah, back over to you guys. I don't know if anybody wants to send us a question or any feedback. We don't want to hold up your session. We just wanted to come in and greet you and send you off on this adventure.
Thank you, Stella. Thank you, Steve, for that. Actually, your schedule was a bit later, but we kind of invited you in. So yeah, you'll be coming back to give us official launch. So thank you, Steve. I will give the floor to Ingala. Ingala, if you are in a good place to speak. Ingala is from Cameroon, DeFi It Now Civic Watch organization. He's here to contribute to our discussion. He'll be giving us a brief explanation about what they have managed to achieve in Cameroon within their community. So Ingala, the floor is yours. Can you hear us, Ingala?
Oh, all right. Brooke, if you can hear me, then that's fine. I'm having a bit of a challenge with Saturday Box from different devices, but if you can hear me, just confirm. And I'm happy that Dan has my my presentation, so he can. There'll come a time in which I will ask him to just play it, so we can actually just all walk through. And thank you, Brooke, and thank you to the Ethiopian team. I just had to switch to my phone so I can actually connect. Kind of a little bit difficult to connect on weekends like this. Good afternoon to everyone who's joining. I am Gala Desmond Gala. I run the DeFi It Now initiative in Cameroon. I also lead a local organization called Civic Watch, which was founded and born out of the desire to strengthen the DeFi It Now initiative in Cameroon. And I will be taking maybe 5 to 10 minutes of your time to share what I would call driving change through verifiable information in Cameroon. And before I just do that, I'd want to say congratulations for your selection. I should not be here, but I should actually have my colleague Donald, who runs the fact-checking programs in Cameroon, sit here alongside with me and do the presentation of what the success story from Cameroon has been. yes, we talk of success story, but I also want to warn you that there are challenges, those that are related to freedom of expression and opinion, those that are related to limited financial resources. Bida was talking about this. Those that are also related to questions of limited legal mechanisms to actually push and look at questions of fact-checking and know what to fact-check and not what to fact-check. But also we live in societies where ICT and internet connectivity is not always the best, so it's always going to be challenging for you to actually have this. Basically, we're talking about access to information, which most countries do not have. But some of the best success stories we've had. Dan, can you share the slide? Okay, good. Good. Thank you, Dan. I'm titling this Driving Change Through Verifiable Information because we're sharing the AFF Cameroon. We're sharing the AFF Cameroon. What I will be calling here success stories, and I wouldn't want to be very long because it's tons and tons of information and data in which you can already find on our website www.defyhitnow.org/Cameroon. You just go to the Cameroon page and you're going to see all of this. You can also see this on the subdomain of 237check.org, 237check.org, which is a dedicated platform for fact-checking. Slide done. So before we got to where we are today as AFF, it started as Facts Matter 237. And the idea for us was to get young and mid-career journalists to get information or to move into the information ecosystem. At the first days, it was only reserved to journalists, those who had at least a certain degree of training into news gathering, into news treatment, and into broadcast. We had people from radio, we had people from TV, and Facts Matter was a very limited number, 7 of them in number, and I think that this photo was taken in Chang, in the west region of Cameroon, during one of our sessions there in the library, where we're trying to understand the relationship between conflict in the Anglophone part of Cameroon and the role that social media, and most especially the diaspora, was playing. Dan? So I decided to do a selection of some of the very key things that we've had in the past. This is a post from the U.S. Embassy in Cameroon after one of our fact checkers by name Frank William Bachu did a story on misinformation that was circulating online. By then we had, for those of you who need a little bit of context into what is happening in Cameroon, we have 2 English-speaking regions in Cameroon that have been in conflict since about 2016. They've been into conflict. There's a separatist movement in these regions. I always want to correct this. The English regions are not fighting the French-speaking regions, but there is a separatist movement in the English-speaking regions who have taken hostage issues of education and economic and social development, and are forcing the government, which is centered in Yaoundé, a French-speaking region, to actually give them their own independence. We've had this in many other African countries, and this should be something you can relate with. But within the context of this, there was misinformation circulating online as to the fact that the American Senate has sanctioned the government of Cameroon. Frank William, in a very short period of time, took upon him to verify the story. And when he verified the story, he discovered that the Senate had not even mentioned Cameroon in any of its briefings, and he posted them. And we didn't even, we posted the story, we edited the story and posted it, and we didn't know that the US Embassy has seen it. And before we could realize that posted on their website, that posted also on their Facebook page, and they started actually consulting Frank William as one of their media persons within the embassy on itself. Slide. Within the context of the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship, one of the other things we do is we produce social media snapshots, what we will call social media health reports. And this is always related to questions of misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, but also incitement to violence that are happening, most especially from the online space to the offline space. And like you can see there, I decided to do a screenshot of this to give you an idea of where you can have this report. So if you type AFF-Cameroon.defiehitnow.org/social media health reports, you're going to have all of this. But also you could just move very straightforward to Defy It Now website and then take AFF, and you're going to actually have these windows drop down, and you can have access to these reports, who wrote them, who edited them, and when they were actually published. And you will see here, I took 2 of them here, how social media campaigns facilitated the release of kidnapped journalists in the Northwest. So NW is Northwest and Southwest regions. We're looking at how the role that social media was playing positively in influencing a change within different communities and people who actually were being held unjustly through the social media they were even released. We're also seeing here questions of COVID and vaccine hesitancy that were in Cameroon. You can also go there and check some of these kinds of reports. Slide. So with social media health reports, I decided to bring up this this email. If you can zoom in and see what this is, an email that we got from somebody, and I prefer to spare you most of the sensitive details in this. And the subject reads removal of page. So the link below is a social media health report that one of the fellows in cohort 3 actually took time and research on how conflict influencers online were using the social media to fan conflict flames. And these people were based in the diaspora. And when this report was published, I think this report was published in 2021, it took about 4 years for us to have a real hardcore feedback on this kind of report, where the person concerned who was sharing this kind of information wrote to us, sending us an email and telling us, hey, can you pull this down because it's causing me emotional stress? I can't find a job because of this. I can't get promoted where I work because it's been said that I do promote this. And to us, this is like huge and massive success, because for the community, for those who are conflict influencers, to recognize that what they're doing is wrong and come back to us and ask that what we should pull the content that is online, means that what we are doing is verifiable, because they didn't come and say, oh, you lied on my name and this is defamatory and we are going to actually hold you accountable to it. So this is part of what you will see if you put lots and lots of effort in what you do. Slide. Within also the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship Program, we always have what we call in Cameroon the specialized meetups. Specialized meetups are opportunities which we give to fellows to go back to different communities they choose and discuss the questions or issues that are burning to these societies related to misinformation, disinformation, hate speech, and why not incitement to violence, which is the overall term we can use here. Let me tell you that in most programs we do, you might not even see the question of hate speech very clearly, because hate speech is just a form of misinformation or incitement to violence that is happening most especially online. And we see people who go to media schools, who go to youth groups, who go to what we call here social groups, which we call them Jangi houses here, and share experiences on what they've had. If you look at one of the photos, the bottom left, you will see people dressed in black t-shirts with the Africa Fact-Checking Fellowship brand directly on the chest. This has become part of how we get feedback from the community, but also not only feedback from the community, how we actually interact and know the difficulties in which the communities do face. Slide. So you will be seeing, these are some of the reports of the of what we will be calling here, we call specialized meetups. When you publish these kinds of reports, what it does to you as the person are publishing them, because we always put them out with the name of the person writing them, is that the moment in which some of you are looking for consultancy jobs, the moment in which foreign and local organizations, most especially those who want to get knowledge on who you are and what you actually are doing, start asking, who is this person this hits up? And this is just one of the examples of how you can bring change by going to your community and actually getting exactly the views and the perceptions of people within these communities. I want to end here with the kind of feedback we get from the communities, but this was basically to tell you that you've been selected into a prestigious program, that the ball is now in your court to roll it and get closer and closer onto where you can get misinformation and disinformation out of the Ethiopian land space. Why not out of the African, and why not out of the world? Thank you, BK. I will be here if there are questions for me, but receive greetings from the program lead for the fact-checking programs in Cameroon, Dona Chenge Chengam, from here. BK, back to you.
Thank you, Ghana, for that brief explanation. I hope the fellows will learn a lot from your experience and what you shared with us. That's very inspirational, I would say. Thank you for that again. Our next speaker, Dr. Merga, unfortunately, he's not here due to conflicting schedule. Dr. Merga was supposed to be sharing us about Multi-Fact Check, which is an online platform that contributes to information accuracy for the diaspora, as well as for Ethiopian consumers. We were hoping he will give us a brief intro about MFC, as well as some of the expectations we have in this fellowship, as the fellows are expected to contribute fact-checked articles to MFC. It would have been great if Dr. Merga was here, but unfortunately we don't have him on this meeting. We will proceed to the next agenda. Now our AFF coordinator, he was having a challenge connecting to this meeting. I don't know if he's still there. He'll be opening the discussion with our fellows. This is a session where we get to know each other, also learn from the fellows.
No, I am here.
Perfect. Now I'll give the floor to you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. I know we are running out of time, but we have a discussion with the fellows. Some of our fellows will give us some expectations and their experience, bad experience with different conflicts which emerges by different disinformation on social media. For example, I saw Darmello. Can you hear me, Darmello? Darmello, can you hear me? Okay, if he is not hearing me, we can continue with Abel Taka. He will introduce his name. Okay. Melo, can you give us some your experience about hate speech and disinformation during before 4 years ago, during the Hachalu Hundessa, the famous artist of Oromo people, Hachalu Hundessa's assassination? What was happened to you, your family, because of hate speech and disinformation on social media? Can you give some?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Isammal?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Rabbi. So have this important issue or important meeting for about social media, why to happen or why to challenge this personal something. So I think የተነሳው ኢሹ በጣም አስፈላጊ ነው፣ ኢምፖርታንት ሁለተኛ መረጃዎች በሚሰራጩበት ሰዓት ብዙ ሀፕን የሚያደርጉ ነገሮች አሉ። በጣም አጋጣሚ ሆኖ ናው ያነሳው ኦልሬዲ ከ4 ዓመት በፊት የከሰተውን ኢትዮጵያ ላይ በተለይ ደግሞ በኦሮሚያ ክልል አንድ በጣም እንወደው በጣም ትልቅ የሚባል አርቲስት ነበረና አጋጣሚ በተፈጠሩ ኬዞች ምክንያት ለልፈት ተዳርጎ ያንን ችግር ተከትሎ በጣም በርካታ ተጽዕኖች ሰውብን ነበር። የተለያዩ ግለሰቦች ላይ በርካታ የሚባሉ ችግሮች ደርሰው ነበር። የሰው ድረስ የተለያዩ ምርቶች እስከ መውደም ድረስ አብዛኛው ወጣቶችም የማህበረሰብ ክፍሎች ለእስር እስከ መዳረግ ድረስ ደርሰዋልና ይሄ ምንድነው የመረጃ ወይም ደግሞ የሐሰተኛ መረጃ ስርጭት ነው። ነቱም ያኔ ኦሲሰን ሰዎች በጣም ሐሰተኛ ናቸው። በዚህ ምክንያት እና እዚህ ጋር የሚፈጠረው ነገር በጣም የተለያየ ነበርና ኢቭን ባልታሰበ ሰዓት ባልታሰበ ምክንያት በተኛንበት ነበር ሰበሰቡ ነው መጡ ቤት እስከመቃጠል ነበር እስከመውደም ለእስር እስከመዳረግ ምናምን ሶ እንደዚህ አይነት የሐሰተኛ መረጃ ስርጭቶች ከጉዳትም አልፎ ለህልፈተ ህይወት ይዳርጋሉ። ሶ እንደዚህ ሶሻል ሚዲያዎች ላይ በመሰነሱ ከተጠቂዎች መካከል አንዱ እኔ ነኝ። በጣም ሆኖ ከተማ ላይ ወጣ ብለን ነበርና የዚህ ችግር ተጠቂ መሆናችን ኖርማል መደበኛ ስራ ላይ ነበር። ነገር ግን ምንም በማናውቀው ሁኔታ በቃ ከዛም ተሰበሰቡ መጡ ለውድመት ነው እና እንደዚህ አይነት ነገር የሚፈጠር ችግር አለ ሊፈጠር ይችላል። ግን ትክክለኛ መረጃን ያልያዘ ወይም ደግሞ ትክክለኛ ፊት የሌለው መረጃን በመስማት በሐሰተኛ መረጃ ስርጭት ምክንያት ለእንደዚህ አይነት ችግር ብዙዎቻችን ልንቸገር ወይም ልንጋለጥ እንችላለን እና እዚህ ላይ መነሳቱ ወይም እዚህ ላይ መሰራት እንዳለበት አምናለሁ በኩል። አመሰግናለሁ።
Thank you, Darmelo. He told us about his experience during the well-known famous artist Hachalu Hundeessa's assassination. Social media orchestrated disinformation and hate speech. So he was a victim during that time. So he was the experience. So thank you, Darmelo. Anyone can give us some expectation from this fellowship? Muhammad or Abdul, who will give us his expectations from this 3 months fellowship? Muhammad or Abel? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Or Muhammad?
Samal.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'm Abel Saka. I expect with the fellowship understanding ይሰማል?
ድምፅህ ተቆራርጧል። አቤት። Okay, I think we lost Abel.
And I think it will be better for its creators in Ethiopia. And they will work to code Okay, ኔትወርኬ ጥሩ አይደለም መሰለኝ።
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Abel. So we can proceed to we can continue with Abdisa or Jamal. Jamal, can you give us some insights about your experience or about your expectation from this funding fellowship?
Okay. First of all, I would like to thanks for this event. I came from Mr. Shamani. Maybe I don't speak English fluently, but I try to communicate with them. ሶሻል ሚዲያ በህብረተሰቡ ላይ ትልቅ ተጽዕኖ ያለው ነገር ነው። በጣም ትልቅ ኢንፍሉዌንስ ሊያደርግ የሚችል ነገር ነው። እናም ማህበረሰቡ ሶሻል ሚዲያን ከሶሻል ሚዲያ እውነተኛ የሆነ ወይንም ፋክት የሆነን ኤቪደንስ ነው የሚፈልገው። ያ ደግሞ ላይሆን ይችላል። እውነተኛ ሀሰተኛ ነገር ወደ እውነት ቀይረው ህብረተሰቡን ሊያጋጩ ኮንፍሊክት በእነሱ መሀል መፍጠር ይችላሉ ማለት ነው። ሶሻል ሚዲያ ለህብረተሰቡ እውነተኛ የሆነ መረጃን ወይንም ኤቪደንስን ነው አፕላይ ማድረግ ያለበት። ምክንያቱም ህብረተሰቡ እውነተኛ የሆነ ነገር ካላለፈ ወይ አፕላይ ካልተደረገ ህብረተሰቡ ወደ መጋደል ነው የሚሄደው ማለት ነው። ለምሳሌ ቅድም ዳርሜሎ እንዳለው በሀጫሉ ጊዜ በጣም ሀሰተኛ የሆነ ነገር ወደ እውነት ቀይረው ህብረተሰቡ መሀል ኮንፍሊክት ፈጥረው ህብረተሰቡ እስከ መጋደል ድረስ ደርሶ ነበር። እኛ ላይም ያ ነገር ደርሶ ነበር። ሶሻል ሚዲያ በእውነተኛ የሆነ ነገር ኢንፎርሜሽን ነው ለህብረተሰቡ አፕላይ ያደርጋል ብዬ ማስበው። እናም አንደኛው ከነሱ መሀል እንደ ድርጅት ወይም እንደ ተቋም ሆኖ የሚሰሩ እናንተ ናችሁና እዚህ ነገር ላይ በጣም መሰራት ቢቻል ለህብረተሰቡ በቂ የሆነ ግንዛቤ መስጠት ቢቻል እናም ህብረተሰቡ የሚጠብቀውን መረጃ ሙሉ በሆነ መንገድ እንዲተላለፍለት የምትደርጉት ጥረት በጣም አሪፍ ነውና ወደፊትም በዚህ ጉዳይ ላይ በጣም እኛም እንሰራለን፣ በቂ የሆነ ግንዛቤ ይኖረናል ብለን እናስባለን። ስላዳመጣችሁ
Thank you, Abdisa. So now we have to conclude our meetings. Next time we have back-to-back training sessions with the fellows about media literacy, data journalism, verification, fact-checking. So many titles are on this wonderful fellowship. So now I'm giving the room for Brooke. BK.
Thank you. Now I think we have English speakers here. Probably they don't have any clue what our colleagues here said, because it's in Amharic. Most of the speakers said that from experience living in Ethiopia, especially in Oromia region.
ሶሪ ይቅርታ፣ እንዴት ናችሁ? ሶሪ መንገድ ላይ ስለነበርኩኝ ነው።
All right. You can introduce yourself and then you can take the floor. All right, maybe I will proceed. So yeah, our speakers said that from experience living in Ethiopia, especially in Shashamene, during the Hachalu Hundesa, the famous renowned artist, Oromo artist assassination, there was a bit political turmoil as well as violence. They have witnessed people being killed, house being burnt due to disinformation, misinformation that happened on social media that led to an offline violence. They said that this is a good opportunity for a youth who especially came from such area. Is a really good opportunity to contribute to their communities by actively involving in this fellowship. We thank you for that passion. Also, we know that you have made it to this through hard work by applying, by also filling our very long questions. So I believe we selected the right candidate for this, and thank you for contributing in our meeting as well. I think we don't have time to further discuss. Maybe if you have any question for me or for Steve or for my other colleagues from Cameroon, South Sudan, or Kenya, I'll give the floor to our fellows to take this opportunity to ask question or to provide feedback. Maybe I'll give it to our female candidates here. Maybe Hani. All right. I don't think our attendees have any question or feedback to share with us. That would be it. I thank everyone who joined this call, even though we gave you a short notice, especially the experts. Thank you so much for coming in, for sharing your insight with our fellows. I wish our fellows really productive and insightful fellowship. Hopefully we will get the chance to meet in person in Shashamane when the time and resource allows it. Thank you everyone for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you. Have a good day.